Alrighty, hey guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome back to the farm. Today we're doing a little bit of light tillage in the 9470R. And then we're possibly going to be going down to the co-op to look at seed. Although we might not get planting today. I don't know what's going on here. We're going to be going down to the John Deere dealership, and we are going to be taking the 8530 in for a service. Now, for the most part, I service everything. But there are certain things, like with the Starfire GPS system, and they have to run like a new computer program and everything like that in it. That's something that I can't do. They're also going to be checking the main seal in the transmission, because I have had those go out before in the old 8530. So I definitely don't want it to happen in the new 8530 or newer 8530. And I don't know why she got stuck there. I think it's because I'm making a turn. These discs really don't like to be turned too much. So update. The guys brought in the bin setup, so we do have quite the grain bin setup now. We got a leg and a dryer now, and so everything's good on that front. I'm pretty happy with that, to be honest. And we're also, I don't know if I mentioned this in the first video or not. I might have. But there's actually something I want to go look at today, and that is up in the woods along the back side of one of my fields. There's an old Marmon cab over. I know it sounds weird. I couldn't even believe it myself, but believe it or not, there is a Marmon cab over there, up there. It's red, and just like the last one, it's in rough shape, although it's not in as rough shape as the old one. The old one had a lot of transmission issues, even up till the day it crashed, or I crashed it. It had a lot of transmission problems, and that was something I meant to get fixed, but it never got around to it, and it ended up in a wreck. Anyways, long story short, ever since then, I've always wanted another Marmon cab over. And there's actually one out there along the back side of the one field. So today we're going to head on down there. We're going to go down there in the Cummins. And we're going to go and take a quick look at her. Now, from what I understand, the engine needs a rebuild bad. Like, the engine is just about shot. We're going to try and take some fuel up there. Take some fuel additives to try and, if there's anything in the tanks, like something like lacquer thinner or something like that, we're going to try and stabilize the fuel enough to possibly get a start out of it, although I don't really think it's going to be able to work. I probably could have went 2 over from that, but it is what it is. But we're going to try and get that truck to run. So that's going to be the goal today. We're also going to be bringing back a demo from the John Deere dealership. And the demo is going to be, I think they told me earlier that they're going to demo me an 8RT. So that's going to be something interesting for planting. I've never run an 8RT before. I've run plenty of 8Rs when I was down in like Missouri and stuff. I did run 8Rs, but I've never been on a 2-track tractor. Or I've never driven a 2-tracked tractor. We did have the 9RT sitting on the mother bin, the one corn harvest we had, but I never drove that tractor. It was the neighbor that drove that tractor. So, it's going to be interesting. From what I've been told, it's pretty straightforward, except for you don't want to turn too tight, because it's really easy to jackknife things with one of those things, because they're like a zero-turn mower. They turn quite literally on a dime. They turn on their own axis. So it's going to be interesting to try out, but I think I'm going to enjoy it. So I'm going to get this field done, guys, because I don't want to use up all the time in this episode just dedicated to this dedicated to this field. I actually want to get some stuff done, and when I come back, we will be checking things out. So I'll see you guys in a bit. Okay, so we're back. I just folded up the implement here. We're gonna head back to the farm. We're gonna wash this thing off, even though we got to do that that ground over there. We're gonna wash this thing off. The reason why is just because with lime, I don't really want to mess around with it too much. But as you can see, there's our beautiful brand new grain leg setup. It took them 2 days to put it up, so it is quite the setup. But we gotta hurry now. We really got a fire lit underneath our backsides to get these, specifically get corn in the ground. Beans I'm not too worried about, but specifically to get the corn in the ground. So today we really want to get planting. We had a wet spring. We didn't even get into the field for quite a long time. But we're already in June 1st, and you know, you don't want to be waiting this long to get into the field. It's almost too late now. Not quite, but almost. So we're gonna, just before we go, we're gonna pull out the 8530 and the planter, and Larry and Tom are gonna be servicing the planter while I go and pick up the 8RT. We might also get them into the field with the 8RT, just to get them going. We also probably will get Tom or Larry, depending, and the 6175 with the air drill, and we're just going to get them drilling in beans. Just because with the beans, we decided that we're going to run, see, we can run beans through the drill, so we're going to do that. Alright, so I'm trying to think here. I think I'll put this over by the barn like where I had it in the last video, just for now. Our biggest problem right now is we don't have a shed big enough for this disc, and the same thing with our big 2410 Ripper. We don't have a shed with doors big enough for that either. So it's a bit of a hat trick kind of moving the stuff around. Obviously we parked the 9420 in the shop because that's, you know, obviously our most valuable tractor. But definitely one of my favorites, that's for sure. It's a good looking tractor. Anyways, we're gonna run in here, get these doors open. Right now, the 8530 and the planters are the only ones that are still inside, and that's still hooked up, so we're good on that. We'll got her on a high idle here to warm her up a little bit. It is 48 degrees Fahrenheit, so it's not overly cold, but it's a little bit cool. Alright, that should be good enough. That should warm her up enough. Alright, let's roll out here. So what we're going to do is we're going to... It's a little bit hard on it, but we're going to pull out the 4755. And we're going to hook it up to the planter just for the hydraulic power, for them to be able to go through everything and make sure everything's as it should be. Also, I mentioned in the last video I might be considering removing the calf barn, and right now that idea is not completely off the table, because there's so much we could put in. Call in a builder and get a quote and have a new shed put in, and we'd have so much room, and we'd get like a big shed, big enough so we could fit those bigger implements in there. And just kind of get everything out of the rain. I mean, back when we were in Marksville the first time around, you know, there was a lot of stuff left in the rain. So we really want to kind of get everything going for that. Alright. I'm going to hit the unfold button here. While I'm doing that, I'm going to go fire up the 4755 and get it running. Also, we did make the decision. We took the front tank off, so that wasn't too hard, but we got that taken off. I really just didn't care for it. Okay. And the planter's unfolded, so we can now back up and the primary reason why I wanted to unfold it here just was so we could see everything. We're going to lower it just because the 4755 will not have the hydraulic power for this. Okay, we're gonna fold it back up just for the moment. Just so it's easier for the guys to hook up to, because if you don't, you might have a problem as far as like getting it back down, because these things are quite end heavy, and if it's a little bit too far ahead and you're on a slant, it will literally just flip over on itself. So anyways, we're gonna unhook this. Or is it even hooked up? It's not even hooked up. Okay, good deal. Now, ideally the 6R would be good for this job, but the thing is, the 6R is still getting the everything buttoned up with the front loader attachment. So we're just kind of making do with what we have at the moment. So I'm gonna hop in this thing. This is gonna be wild. If this ends up like this, is gonna look so funny. Definitely gonna have to get a picture of it, because this is gonna be too funny. Alright, what we're gonna do here is we're gonna rev the 47 up here. What are we sitting at here? We're at 1531 RPM. We're gonna bring her up to 1600. Because I know it's going to be a lot of work for this thing to unfold this. Oh, she's doing it. We're going to bring her up a little bit more, though. 1700 RPM. Let's bring her up to 1800. There we go. So she is doing it. It's taking a lot of revving, but she is doing it. Alright. So we're going to shut the tractor off and just kind of let it sit there for a minute. Larry and Tom will be working away at that, so what we're going to do though is we're going to head down to the John Deere dealership. So over the winter time we're also going to be getting a new house. Yeah. So the backstory is, I wasn't going to tell you guys this yet, but since I kind of already let the cat out of the bag. Whoopsies. Anyways, our house has a lot of knob and tube wiring. And in case you guys didn't know what that was, that is a very scary thing. Knob and tube wiring caused a lot of house fires back in the day. And the thing is it was an old style of wiring that really was kind of janky to begin with. And if it gets damaged, it's literally just a house fire waiting to happen. So, we're not going to be messing around with that. Also, the house does have quite a bit of asbestos in the basement, and supposedly in the upper floor too. Now on the inside, they redid the house back in the 90s, the lower level, not the top level. The top level's still like wood paneling and stuff, but the lower level is, I don't want to say modern, because it's not, but it's kind of somewhat modern. Anyways, my wife is really paranoid about it and like that, so she's actually been in contact with a few building designers, and we're going to be looking at a new house. Currently, we are still living in our old one. Now, as far as asbestos goes, as long as you're not disturbing it, like as long as it's undisturbed, you're pretty much fine. But if you're, the thing I'm more worried about is the knob and tube wiring. But asbestos is some serious stuff, like it'll cause lung cancer and like that. Just so everybody knows about that. Anyways, we're heading up the road here. I'm going to slow down so we're not driving really fast down the driveway. So we're kind of going by the co-op here, and then right by somebody's bean field. I think that might be Anthony's or Jim's. I'm not sure. Might be Jim's bean field. Oh, guys, you missed some weeds when you plowed the driveway. It's amazing to see how this land has come, how far this land has come, because this land was like once CRP back when I first was here. So they got all the equipment down here now. Whoa! They could have done a better job at smoothing that out. Holy crap. Oh, so they still got a gravel driveway, but they got a nice paved parking lot. Or is this paved? Looks paved. So they got the 9Rs there. They got a 9RX row crop version. Alright, we're going to roll up here. While we're here, we'll also take a quick look at the equipment, because I'm still in the market for another seeder. Oh, we almost we almost drove our weights through their door. That wouldn't make them happy. So it looks like they got an 8R and a 6M on the lifts at the moment, so they probably won't get to mine right away. Let's take a look at some of the equipment they got here. A Landau disc harrow. We had one of these, well, we had a 50-foot version of one of these in Missouri. They were a good piece of equipment. I would even consider going as far as to getting another one. 1051 Kinsey, I think they already had that. Salford plow. Man, these things really aren't that much in demand. This thing, I believe, if it's the same piece of equipment, this thing was around a couple of years ago when I was here, or 3 or 4 years ago now. Yeah. A Chevy there. Well, I say that, but it's just like a base model. And then we got 8RT410. This is a brand new piece of equipment. 9470RX. The 9R640. That thing, I would love to try that thing out. That thing looks like a beast. 9470, we already knew about that. And then the X9 demo. They really haven't changed much of their stock. I mean, they've changed a couple of things, but really their stock has remained unchanged. Now, I believe, but from talking on the phone, this is what we're going to be running for the next few days. It's an 8320 RT. This is a 2019 model year. I believe it has the 120-inch spacing with the 30-inch tracks. The reason why they do that is for less compaction, I believe. So like it's kind of like the equivalent to having like a big floaters on your tractor, on your wheeled tractor. I think it's kind of like the same idea. But I'm thinking that's what we're going to be running here. I'm going to go into the office, talk to the guys a little bit, and we'll be back. Okay, so we just got through at our service desk here. We're taking home the 8RT, and we're also going to be picking up the Demco grain cart that we bought a couple of weeks ago in the first video. So I believe this thing is a IVT, if I'm not mistaken. I'll have to see here. Hold on. Alright, I can confirm this is an IVT. So we're going to be leaving the 8530 here for a couple of days, and we're going to get everything sorted out here. And we're going to be careful as we drive across the... whoa! This is going to take some getting used to. We're going to be going over the bump of death. So, I'm going to be a little bit careful of that. So this thing does about 26 miles an hour, so it's a little bit slower than our 8530, but when you're in the field, it doesn't make any difference. It's just kind of road speed. Also, we're going to be looking into buying a work truck. I was looking at a GMC dually. A GMC Sierra dually the other day. I didn't realize this thing stops on a dime too. Holy man. This steering is really going to throw me off. We're going to be picking up our grain cart here. This is one of the last pieces of equipment that they're going to have here. They're still going to have like the truck and trailer sales here, but they're just not going to have as much here. They've pretty well expanded. Okay, so that's all hooked up. Just thinking about it. Wait. I wonder if this thing's going to be too high. Let's see here. Oh no, we're good. Well, that was odd. Oh, it's probably because that was touching the ground. Ideally, this would be like the ideal setup, having this 8RT on the grain cart, but you know, this is just a demo. I mean, I suppose we could trade in the 8530, but I don't really want to. It's a good tractor and it's DEF free and like that, so it would be kind of cool to have a 2-tracks tractor though. I mean, a lot of people run them. Well, it's kind of a mixture. Like, some swear by them and some can't stand them. It's kind of a mixture. It's fun though. It's a little bit of a hat trick to get used to, but overall, it seems like a pretty cool piece of equipment. So next episode, we're probably going to be planting. I don't think we're going to be doing much more in this episode, but I'll probably be recording this episode today or tomorrow, or I'll be recording the next episode today. Sorry, guys, sometimes I have trouble speaking. But yeah, we're gonna get everything into the ground. We got a small margin of time to get things into the ground now. Like, we're almost in a desperate situation. Of course, nobody else seems to have anything else in the ground either. So who knows? It's kind of a hit or miss thing, you know. Of course, then again, there is that one bean field that's already like starting to sprout up. So it's hard to say. Like, I'm seeing a lot of tilled fields around lately still. John, he's still getting stuff figured out. I'm thinking I might end up giving him a hand within the foreseeable future here. Just because, like, he hasn't even gotten his land tilled up completely. Like, it's just plowed. And you can't plow, or you can't plant on a furrowed surface. So that's going to be an interesting thing. I might end up giving him a hand with that, just because that seems like something that could be a possible problem for him. We're coming up on the farm here, and I left the door open for the shed. Larry and Tom are probably still around though, so we're good on that front. So we're going to be putting this inside. We're going to put it in the back of the shed just because, you know, we're not going to need it for a while. We will need it for oat harvest, but that's not for a couple of, well, it's not for at least a month. So they're still out there working on that planter though, so I hope everything's okay. Normally it doesn't take them that long to get everything sorted out. Now, one thing I want to check out here. This was a deal breaker on the last grain cart that we had. And that was the auger. Oh yeah, that's plenty long enough. I was concerned about the... See, the reason why I didn't buy the 1051 Kinsey is because the auger was way too short on it. And that's forward. So I really wanted to make sure that I got that squared away correctly. Is this thing even going to fit inside the building? Let me hop out and let me take a look here. I mean, it's doable. It's going to be tight, but it's doable. One thing that's nice about this thing being like a zero turn is it's nice for backing up trailers. We can just literally just turn this thing right on a dime and the trailers. Alright, so that's our grain cart. Now, we're probably going to run the 9470 on this, unless we get like an 8RT or something, but I really can't see that happening. Oh, yeah. attach the PTO too. That's a little bit of a hat trick. Okay, well guys, I think I'm going to leave it there on this video. I know I keep saying about that Marmon. We will get around to it after planting. But right now we got other priorities. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. Be sure to leave a like, leave a comment, do not forget to subscribe, and hey, I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching, guys.